Capricorn, and welcome to your September 2018 Love Reading with Divine Love Tarot. I want to thank you and welcome you to my channel, whether it's your first time here or you're a return viewer or subscriber. I hope the message resonates for you, and if it does, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, guys, and leave me a comment, okay? Now, if you find the message isn't resonating with you, keep in mind it is a general reading, so it's not going to resonate with everyone, and you may want to check out your moon sign, your rising sign, or your Venus, because sometimes those planets are more prominent in your chart. All right, guys, so let's go ahead. Also, if you are subscribed to my channel, make sure that you are tuned into the notifications. Press that little bell so that you don't miss when I launch a video, when I drop a video. And also, I have some things coming up, some interesting changes I'll be making to the channel. So I'll be running a giveaway because I've hit 5K, and I've been talking about this for a couple weeks now. So I'm going to do a video, excuse me. I'm going to do a giveaway, free readings, because I've hit 5K, okay? So you're definitely going to be a subscriber. And I'll have a video that explains how you can enter that, so you don't want to miss that, all right, guys? All right, good. Got that out the way. Let's go ahead and start your reading, okay? This is a love reading, so this is for all singles, couples. Even if you don't have anyone in your life and no one's coming in right now, I feel like sometimes the messages of the current energy, what's driving you, and the advice can really be helpful, okay? So the first card represents your current energy, guys, and we've got the Two of Swords. So I call that indecision, okay? This is you're indecisive about something, you're confused about something, or you're in denial about something. You don't really want to see things for what they are, okay? Let me go ahead and clarify that current energy, and we get the Moon, which definitely can represent confusion, okay? The Moon can represent secrets, things that are hidden, fear of the unknown, okay? So for some of you, it could be a situation where you're kind of fearing making a decision because you don't know how things are going to turn out. For others, you may be in a situation with someone who confuses you, or you're not sure how that person feels, so therefore it's keeping you confused. Or maybe it's about not seeing, not wanting to really connect and be honest about how you feel sometimes, Capricorn, okay? Let me go ahead and pull what is challenging you. And we get the Moon. So, what are you confused about? Okay, there's something that's confusing you. For some of you, you may be dealing, depending on, I see the Moon card, I read it as Pisces most of the time. A lot of people read it as Cancer. I feel like it's just someone who's very intuitive and in touch with their emotions, a person who's really emotional. So if you're dealing with either one of those signs, or someone who fits that bill. But also, there could be some secret, or there could be something unknown, okay? And I think the fear of the unknown really is what challenges you. It's what really, kind of hold you back and keeps you from making any moves, okay? Go ahead and clarify that current energy. I'm using the wrong deck. Clarify the current energy, and we get the Ten of Pentacles, okay? So your challenge could be that you are confused about, commitment, confused about, the stability of a situation, okay? Is this situation really secure? For others of you, your challenge may be that you want to be in a commitment, okay? And right now, either you're confused as to the situation that you're in, whether it's going to get you there. But as we go on, I think things will open up in this reading anymore. I'm confused, Capricorn, okay? There's a lot of confusion going on right now. But definitely, once again, maybe some of you are looking to commit to a Pisces or a Cancer, okay? Let's go ahead and move on to the past energy. And we're coming out of the Four of Wands. So, this is a situation, here we go, where, maybe you were in a commitment before, or you met someone who you thought, things were going to lead to a commitment, and maybe it didn't, or you met someone at a wedding. You could have met someone at an anniversary or some type of celebration, okay? Let's go ahead and clarify that. We get the Death card, okay? So the Death card, if it's a person, can represent a Scorpio. But if not, I feel like the Death card represents the end of something. So some of you might have ended a commitment. I think also with this combination, maybe it was someone who killed your idea of a commitment. So maybe you wanted to be a commitment in the past, and for whatever reason, something killed that dream for you, okay? But it's also about changes. So sometimes it's about the changes that you need to make. So maybe the commitment, the idea of commitment was there, but there were just some, some transitional things that you needed to go through in order to really get there. And maybe this whole, moon, this whole confusion scenario, or this person who's confusing you, or this Pisces or Cancer, is really what your challenge is, or who's challenging you about being in this commitment, okay? Let's go ahead and move on to your future energy. And we've got the Wheel of Fortune. So, the Wheel of Fortune it's simple. It's like change. Change is a coming, okay? If things were good, they're going to get bad. And if they were bad, they're going to get good. All right? So with the Wheel of Fortune, it's a turning point, okay? In the future, you're going to get to a turning point. So even though you may be a little bit confused now, I feel like coming up, and because the Wheel of Fortune is a major arcana card, it's almost like one of those whether you want it to or not. The wheel is going to move. Things are going to change. So the best thing to do would be to, if you are being in denial about something, try to clear that up. Because you don't want things to happen, like be a part of the change that's happening to you. Don't just sit back and wait for things to happen, or wait for the other person to decide what they want to do or how they feel, Moving on to clarifying that now, we get the Knight of Cups in the reverse. The Knight of Cups in the reverse can represent someone who is kind of moody. All right, they're moody, they're kind of unreliable when it comes to emotions, because they'll tell you they feel one way and they really don't feel that way. They can be a little bit unrealistic also, okay? So if that's your energy, don't be, they're like hopeful of romance to the point of ignoring what's really going on. And right now you're already in that energy with the Two of Swords, okay? You're in some type of denial, or you're not ready or not willing to make a decision. But I feel like there's some heavy hitter major arcana here that's like, look, if you're not going to do this, it's going to get done. Whether you see it or pretend you don't see it, it's going to happen. All right? It could be even a secret. I don't know. I'm not really feeling secret type energy, though. I just think it's emotional confusion. I think it's not wanting to connect to your intuition, okay? Letting your intuition guide you, letting your intuition speak to you and clear things up for you. I think you're just kind of dwelling in the murkiness right now. All right, let's go ahead and move on to what you want. And we get Judgment, okay? So for some of you, maybe it is a Scorpio, okay? The Judgment card can also represent Scorpio. If not, though, Judgment is about clarity. So you want clarity, Capricorn, but I think you're just afraid. It's almost like you want something to happen that's going to, leave no room for doubt. Okay, you don't want to come to that conclusion on your own. You want something to happen that's just like, boom, this is what it is, okay? Go ahead and clarify that. And we get the Ace of Swords, okay? Now, the Ace of Swords can represent the ending of something. But it also represents, like, a lack of clarity and miscommunication. So, once again, I'm getting this, like, vibe of I want to know, but I don't want to know. You know what I'm saying? Like you're at that place, and I feel like that is the Two of Swords energy. It's like you want to know because you want to be done with feeling confused, but at the same time, you don't want to know because then you're going to have to make a decision, right? The Ace of Swords in reverse can be about endings, okay? But it's also about stress, and it's like who wants to be stressed? You don't want stress. So I think it's just about ending. I think you want to end anything. It's almost like you want judgment on anything that causes you stress or mental anxiety. All right? You want it to be done. So you want clarity on anything that causes you stress or anxiety or indecision or anything that isn't clear. Okay? Moving on to your internal factor, and we get the Chariot in reverse. So you kind of could feel like giving up, okay? For some of you, this could be it could be a Cancer that you're dealing with. If you're a Capricorn dealing with a Cancer, let me know in the comments. And you know, that's what's driving you, whether you know it or not. This, you know, this Cancer. If it's not a Cancer, though, the Chariot in reverse can represent wanting to give up. It's that, you know, not making a move type energy, you know, being stuck or stagnant. All right. It's like losing sight of direction. You're not sure where you want to go. And here, it's because you're blindfolded. Because either you don't want to see or you can't see what your next move should be. Maybe you're too emotional. All right. And maybe you need to get past all that emotional confusion to really see, you know, how to really see this whole Ten of Pentacles that you probably want. This whole commitment that you're wanting. Okay. But I feel like you're being too emotional. And you're maybe even being unrealistic, as this Knight of Cups in reverse is saying to us, about whatever the situation is. Let me go ahead and clarify this. Yeah, we get the Three of Wands in reverse. So maybe you feel like, you know, maybe you've been waiting for a long time. You know, for those of you who have been in a relationship, maybe you're in a relationship that doesn't have the title. Okay, maybe you guys have been together for years, but there is no real commitment. There's no marriage. There's no engagement. Maybe there's no title, like, you know, are we even boyfriend or girlfriend? What are we? And so I feel like you are at that point where you're willing to give up on this situation because you're just tired of being confused. You're tired of the unknown. You're tired of, you know, whatever this person may be hiding, or, you know, whether you're dealing with someone who's an emotional person or you're dealing with someone who's moody. But whatever the case is, it's leaving you confused. And you are kind of over that, Capricorn. Okay? Moving on to your advice for this reading. And we get the Empress. The advice of the Empress is basically to get back to that loving, nurturing place. So if this situation has taken you away from being loving and nurturing, right? Maybe that's what's missing in the situation. Maybe, you know, there's a lot of talk about feelings. You know, maybe there's a lot of talking or doing, but there's no actual connecting. There's no actual loving and nurturing happening. Now, if that's not the case, I feel like the Empress is saying, right? The Empress as advice is like, look, if you're going to be loving and nurturing to someone, right, then you should also be with someone who's loving and nurturing to you. All right. And I think this is not just about you being loving and nurturing. I think it's about the fact that you want someone who treats you like the Empress. You want someone who's going to adore you and love you and be supportive of you. You know, whether you're a mom, okay, whether this is someone that you have children with, you know, it's like, yes, you want security, but you also want to be loved too. So don't forget that. Don't leave that out. Only focusing on security. And maybe that's why you're confused, because maybe that possibility for commitment is there, but maybe the emotion isn't where you would like it to be. Okay? Because the moon is also challenging you. So it's like, what's really going on? All right, let's go ahead and move on to external factors. And we get the High Priestess. Okay, so definitely some of you may be dealing with a Pisces or a Cancer. The High Priestess has that unavailable quality to her. She's mysterious. Okay, she's very intuitive, but she doesn't necessarily share that information with you. All right, Capricorn, so you may be dealing with someone who knows what they want, but they're not letting you know what they want, and therefore you are now confused. It's that whole mystery. It's that moon. The High Priestess encompasses the mystery of the moon. All right. So I really feel like you're dealing with someone who's just leaving you off on the hook. Like, listen, how do you feel? How do you really feel about me? You know, are we going to be together? Are we going to get married? Are we going to have kids? Are we going to take things to the next level? What's going on? I feel like you're really in the dark, like you're really not sure whether you're coming or going with this particular situation, whether it's someone you've been together with a long time or someone that you've just met. Now, I know my singles are like, well, where do I fall into all of this? Well, I feel like maybe, you know, a situation that happened in the past, whether it's a commitment that ended, right? Or someone who kind of changed how you felt about commitment, or someone who you thought was going to commit to you and they didn't, right? It's left you feeling a little bit gun shy. But then you're also frustrated because you feel like you're just waiting and waiting for this love to come into your life. And so I think the advice with all this moon is about getting back to feeling like you deserve to be treated like the Empress, okay? Getting back to feeling like, yeah, I deserve someone to come into my life and love me the way I deserve, the way I want to be loved, despite the fact that maybe someone messed things up in the past, okay? Just because someone messed things up in the past, your past is not your present, it's not your future. And if you want to be loved, okay, and you want to connect and you're missing that emotion, then here it is. The High Priestess is like, look, you do deserve love. And once you remember that and believe that, maybe someone will come in who will give you that love, okay? Moving on to clarifying, though, this High Priestess. What's going on with this High Priestess in the external environment? We've got the Nine of Wands in reverse, which is someone who can be a little bit difficult to deal with because they may be defensive. Sometimes they're even paranoid, all right? But this person is you're probably dealing with someone who's very difficult, someone who's very possibly moody, possibly stubborn, and someone who isn't clear in letting you know what they want. And that's why you want that clarity, because you're tired of being confused. Okay? You're tired, and there's a deep emotional attachment here, or there's just, either there's a deep emotional attachment, or there's something hidden. Or just you're confusing, either you're confused or you're confusing each other, okay? Moving on to your hopes and your fears. And we've got the Ace of Swords. So this is interesting because either you could be hoping for the truth, or you could be afraid of the truth. Okay, you could be wanting clarity, or you're afraid to find out how this person really feels, because you might find out that they've been faking it. Okay, that they're just, this is who they are. This moody, changeable person. One day they love you, the next they don't love you. They just leave you feeling unbalanced. Okay, so we clarify that, and we get the High Priestess the Empress in the reverse. I think that your fear, right, may be finding out that, I don't think it's necessarily this particular person, but sometimes our fears lead us to where we don't want to be, or lead us to having to face them. So I feel like with that combination, you're afraid of someone telling you they don't love you, or you're afraid of someone not treating you the way that you want to be treated. Okay? Maybe like even this situation, you're afraid of someone who's kind of like kills your dreams. Okay? And so, I feel like with this Ace of Swords, which is the second time it's coming up in this reading, you got the Ace of Swords in the reverse and what you want, okay? It's like you don't want anything that isn't clear, all right? You want finally some clarity. So I think you want the clarity, but your fear is that maybe this person's going to tell you you're not the one. Or, they want to be in a relationship, they want to be in a commitment, but they're not, you're afraid that they're not going to treat you like the Empress, and you want to be treated like the Empress, okay? But maybe it's a situation, for some of you, this may resonate, maybe it's a situation where, are you treating this person, are you behaving like the Empress? Are you loving and nurturing, or are you, closed off and guarded because you're feeling confused? And you're afraid that, someone doesn't love you, or someone won't love you. So you have to, do you have your walls up, Capricorn? So it's like, love, you know, let yourself be the Empress and let yourself be that magnetic energy that people are drawn to and can't get enough of and want to do anything for. And then, you know, I think that, you know, and it's not just about you receiving the love, but the Empress, she gives love too. That's what's so appealing about her. So I feel like you need to remember that part of the energy of the Empress and focus on that too. It's not just about receiving attention. The Empress gives love. She is nurturing, and that's what people are so drawn to. Okay? I really feel like there's a situation where maybe this is, you know, someone that you have children with, and you feel like the next logical step would be to be in a commitment, but is the emotion actually there between the two of you, or are you just doing this for security and commitment's sake, you know? All right, let's go ahead and clarify. Let's go ahead and pull the outcome card, and we've got the Sun card. So the Sun card, you know, to me, the Sun card sheds a light on everything. It sheds a light because these two people, you see, there is no lies between them, okay? They're looking into each other's eyes. They're on the same page. They know exactly where they stand and where they're coming from. So I feel like that's a good indicator because that's exactly what you want, Capricorn, okay? You want to know where you stand with a person. Yes, the Sun card can represent happiness. The Sun card can represent, you know, joy. Let me go ahead and clarify that, and we'll know. We got the Hierophant in reverse. So I think you are dealing with someone who may be difficult, okay? And like I said, this energy can go vice versa. So for my cross watchers, you may be dealing with a Capricorn that's difficult. But you may be dealing with someone who is very nonconformist. They're untraditional. All right, so for those of you who have been in a relationship with this person, they don't like titles. Okay, they're the kind of person that tells you they don't like titles. They're not, you know, they're not into committing. You know, you guys have been together for 7 years, 8 years, and you know, there's no ring. There's no even title that says, oh, we're, you know, boyfriend or girlfriend or we're dating. Whatever it is, it's just like they just want you to go with the flow because they don't like to conform and they don't like to commit. They don't want anything to be expected of them. And I think now it's about having the clarity, right, and really understanding and seeing this person for who they are. Okay. For some of you, I'm getting a vibe that maybe you're with someone or you're dealing with someone who is already committed somewhere else. And maybe that's where the confusion is coming in because maybe there's an emotional connection. But I think maybe for some of you, you're romanticizing it. Yeah, you know, this person may be emotionally connected to you, but, you know, they may not be able to commit to you because maybe they're committed elsewhere. Okay, and maybe that's kind of what left you confused because it's like, well, I'm connecting to someone emotionally, but, you know, my challenge is that, you know, they're already committed somewhere else. It doesn't mean that they don't love you, but it's like, can they really treat you like the Empress, right? If they've already got someone that they're perhaps not treating like the Empress, okay? Because, and this is for some, not for all, but if you are dealing with someone who's already in a situation somewhere else, then, you know, it's like reality check. How is this person, unless they're in the process of a divorce and you know that they're moving away from that other person, how can they really treat you like the Empress if they're not treating that other person like the Empress? Will they? No, not how. Will they? I won't say how because it's very possible. But I feel like the fact that you're confused and the fact that, you know, they're defensive possibly says a lot. Okay, because maybe they're not willing to be honest with you because they don't know where they stand in their situation yet. You know, especially for those of you, like I said, that are dealing with someone who's committed somewhere else. If they're not done with that commitment, things are going to be murky because whether they love you or don't love you or have feelings for you or you have an emotional connection, even a karmic connection to this person, until they clear up that other situation, they're not going to be available to you. And that's why the Hierophant is in reverse, and that's why they're the High Priestess right now. So that message is going to resonate for some. But for everyone else, I think you're dealing with someone who just Either you're a nonconformist, you're non-traditional, or the person that you're interested or in a relationship with is non-traditional. They're not going to do things just because it's the next quote-unquote logical step, or that's what society expects of you guys. And I think that's where your confusion comes in, because you're like, I don't understand. You know, either you don't want to see that this is who this person is, or you didn't want to believe it because you thought, well, we've been together for so long, eventually it's going to happen. And maybe they're serious. Maybe they're like, no. And so now you're at a place, Capricorn, where you have to decide, is this going to work for you? Or are you just fantasizing and being overly hopeful, you know, that things will change? All right, guys, so that has been your reading, Capricorn. If you would like a more personalized reading, you guys can hit me up. All my information is in the description bar below this video. Also, you can leave a comment and I will get in touch with you. And, you know, like I said, guys, like the video, share the video if you want. Make sure you're signed up to get the notifications. And I will see you guys at the next video. Bye, Capricorn.